So this is my presentation for role object pattern. My name is Ritik Gupta. What the pattern is intended to do is allow an object to dynamically switch roles. It will let users change between multiple different roles. The best thing about this pattern is that it allows the switching to be done dynamically during the runtime without changing the structure. Is best used during assigning permissions between people with different roles. An example would be a CEO of a company who will have more access than a regular employee. The motivation is to allow an user to switch between different roles. An example would be between guest and admin. This is the code I have provided later on, where the guest would have more access than an admin. Using this pattern allows for less deep inheritance or multiple inheritance use, which simplifies the code. Another key feature is the role object can be assigned among other roles, which will let the user reuse the elements that's provided on a different role. The structure is that a role class will be there to allow the users to switch roles. Another class will be there that defines the available actions to different roles. The other classes will contain the implementation of the different roles a user can be. There are multiple pros of role object pattern, but that includes some of the cons as well. The first benefit is that it offers a simplistic way for a user to change between different roles. The user can implement different roles without the use of multiple or deep inheritance. There are other benefits as well that's not listed here, but I have talked about it in the previous slides, which includes reusability, where the user can reuse the role object in different objects. One place where it's useful is a gaming environment where one player got the same ability as another player. This pattern is also modifiable, where the user can easily modify or add on to the actions of the roles. With all that pros, some cons are also there, where the role object pattern is prone to errors due to the complexity during managing roles. The issue is that it's hard to test all the very different kinds of roles. Different scenarios also might appear as well, and the developer needs to maintain that in order to avoid the complications. Now I'll talk about the features of the application. The basic feature is what I have discussed as an example before, where the user is able to change roles between guest and admin. Suppose a user wants to sign in as a guest. The system will provide them with limited access because they're a guest. But if a user wants to sign in as an admin, the system will provide them with all the access. Now I'll talk about the code I designed in detail by walking you through each step. The first class is called role, where the choose role function is available that shows a not implemented error. What it does is tell that every subclass of role have to override this function to show its own behavior. Role is the main class in here. The next classes are admin and guest, which inherits from the role class and overrides the function in role class with its own actions. The next class is user, which represents someone who can have different multiple roles. Another function is defined as init that has two attributes as name and the role they have. Another function is switch role that lets the user switch roles. The choose role function performs the action to switch roles between guest and admin. As you can see in the comment here, this is where the testing begins, where the user first selects his name. Then the user performs the switch role function to show they want to sign in what they want to sign in as, which is either guest or either admin. Then the choose role gets printed. As you can see here, I have only done the switch role function for admin, which should show all the all the access. Now I'll show you the input for guest. It should show the user has limited access. So if I go to my code here, hopefully you can see it. Let me run it. So you see, I have already done that before in the code, before starting the recording. So it shows giving access to limited data. Now, if I run the admin one, it shows here giving access to all the data, which means the code is working. Let me go back to the presentation here. And I have already given the explanation of the code. All in all, the role object pattern is a simplistic way for users to implement an object that requires multiple roles. It also allows a user to keep on adding roles without any complexity among the codes. It allows the code to be more readable and straightforward by eliminating the need for multiple inheritance. Thank you so much for your time. Have a good day.